Good evening. I hereby call to order this regular meeting of the Board of Education for the Wilmette Public School District 39 for Wednesday, February 20th, 2019. Will the secretary please take the roll call?
Miss Ma,
Present.
Miss Ramaswamy,
Present.
Mr. Salvi,
Present.
Miss Carberry,
Present.
Mr. Rushi,
Present.
Miss Shedevy,
Present.
Mr. Bjorkman,
Present.
Mr. Vondensteinen,
Present.
Mr. Brown, Miss Larson,
Present.
Mr. Axel.
Present.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. You have all received the minutes from the January meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes. I second that motion.
Okay, thank you. So now, board committee reports. Are there any board committee reports? No? Okay. Now, information items. So are there any written communication items? No? Okay. Now, so now are the presentations by appointed officials on plans about the kindergarten enrichment.
Hi, I'm Lydia Vasallo, and I'm the superintendent. We have a proposal we would like you all to consider. We are proposing full-day kindergarten for our District 39 kindergartners. Currently, many parents and kindergartners attend half-day kindergarten classes, where all the students learn from the curriculum. What we are proposing is having full-day kindergarten for the second half of the day, and the second half of the day will be enrichment, where everyone will be participating in more lightweight and fun activities, if they so choose. Half of the day, kindergarten will, Kindergarten will, of course, still be an option and has been very successful. However, we would like to give parents the option to enroll their children in full-day kindergarten enrichment. Right now, full-day kindergarten enrichment is not completely possible. Therefore, we are giving the option of building extra space for full-day kindergarten in Central Elementary and Harper Elementary schools. Eventually, we would build more space in Ramona Elementary and Mackenzie Elementary for everyone to be able to enroll their kindergartners in full-day kindergarten enrichment if they would like.
Are there any questions for the superintendent?
Excuse me, for the superintendent, I think it sounds like a fantastic idea, but what exactly does the program consist of, specifically?
This program consists of adding additions to 2 of the elementary schools to allow kindergartners to get a full-day experience.
Will there be educational benefits provided to enrichment enrolled students?
Yes, there will be, because I believe that it provides basic learning and so much more. It provides activities and time to socialize with other children.
Are there any other questions? No? Okay. Let's move on to the next presentation.
Hi, I'm Natalie, and I am one of the 2 administrators of curriculum and instruction. The construction cost in total is about $5.7 million, which would come to about $2,355 per student, and adding about $4,145 for a per pupil cost estimates to about $6,500. This gives us $4,145 to create an active daily plan for the enrichment. 54.8% of respondents to the enrichment survey agreed to have classrooms constructed and pay the $6,500 tuition fee. This means that while AM kindergarten is in process, there will be a morning enrichment for the PM kids. Then when the PM classes start, the AM kids will be transferred into enrichment.
I'm also administrator for curriculum and instruction. My name is Neela. And to elaborate on what the superintendent said, our goal is to create the best possible environment for learning and development so we can see these children learn valuable skills. And we want to stay away from more academic materials and focus on social and interpersonal skills. Some activities will include group games and arts and crafts. Enrichment will be a social environment for these kids to grow in while also allowing parents to get a full day's work. Our group games will promote collaboration and team building for young children to learn how to work with others in a positive and creative way, while the arts and crafts will promote cognitive development while keeping an unstructured schedule for kids to have their freedom. And we want to try and keep it more laid back than public kindergarten because we don't have the resources for a full day yet. The social skills they will learn will help them grow and develop through the years and into adulthood, but all apart from the rigor of academic process. And we will also institute a lunch near the end of the enrichment day to keep the kids well nourished. There will be a bring your own option for allergies, but we will also have a brought in food option that can be ordered when enrollment starts. Are there any questions?
I apologize, and I think that it's also very interesting, but I would also like to go back to the fees and the money part of it.
Yeah.
And so, along with like the families of the districts, there are some families that are financially unable to support themselves. So, would you considering like waiving the tuition for them, or will you like lower it down for them just so that, or provide some sort of support for those families?
Well, those families, this costs nothing out of the taxes. So for one, all those families won't need to deal with tax raises. But the enrichment is completely optional for one. And one of our goals is part of this tuition fee is the construction, and these will be permanent modules onto these classrooms. So hopefully as the years go on through enrichment, the tuition will be able to be lowered slowly because we won't need as much money for the resources we will already have the resources.
Would kids that do half-day kindergarten miss out on anything as opposed to the kids that do full-day kindergarten?
Well, there is no full-day kindergarten right now, but the kids who only do AM or PM will not miss out on anything. The enrichment is purely an option and will not take away from anybody's learning. It's only an additional way for them to develop and give time to parents.
Trustee Axel.
Which which class would be kind of more beneficial then? Between the enrichment and then the half-day AM or PM?
Well, half-day AM or PM is the public school kindergarten program and is going to be much more efficient because that is the school program and they're going to teach all of the things needed for those years. This is purely a addition to that will allow kids to develop more social skills if they want that, but it is not going to take away in their future life. So kindergarten will be the sole goal here.
Are there any other questions? No? Okay.
Thank you.
So.
Hi, I'm Kira Powell, and I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources. So at each school, a new teacher would have to be hired in order to teach the enrichment and the regular kindergarten classes. And either we could do new contracts for the hired teachers in order for them to teach the full day, or or there have to be change for the teachers who are currently working, so that like they could teach the different classes. And then if the enrichment courses that the teachers are teaching require like certain teachers, they would need to be hired because certain enrichment courses specific teachers may know more things about, in case, which would be different from just the regular kindergarten enrichment teachers. And for the cost, a regular kindergarten teacher, when I looked at the prices, their salaries are $65,000 to $105,000 yearly, so it's a wide range. So this would, with 4 new teachers, or with a new teacher at each school, 4 new teachers, it would cost about $260,000 to $420,000, depending on how much the teachers are paid. Are there any questions?
So for the enrichment program to be successful, there also needs to be a teacher that's teaching a reasonable amount of kids. So do you know the current student-teacher ratio of this enrichment program compared to a normal kindergarten program of the half day?
I'm sorry, I do not know that.
That's totally fine.
Trustee Shedevy? So would you also have to hire any other people to help make this kindergarten enrichment successful?
Well, if you're offering the kindergarten enrichment, just when you'll have the other teachers, and then if there are like you might need more parapros or just other people working in the classrooms, because if it's 2 different classrooms, then it'd be 1 parapro couldn't be in each classroom, but it would be overall pretty similar. Any other questions?
Actually, I have a question. Do you think 1 teacher per school would be enough?
Yes, because we're just offering, or from my understanding, we're offering 1 like enrichment class. Because like currently it's not 2 teachers per like regular AM or PM class, so we just need another teacher to teach enrichment at the same time that another teacher is teaching the kindergarten, like the regular kindergarten class.
Trustee Axel?
So how many kids would you expect per class?
Well, assuming it's about your average class, usually kindergarten class about 20 people.
Are there any other questions? No? Okay. Thank you. Now let's hear the presentation from the business manager.
Hi, I'm Madeline O. I'm the business manager. So the estimated cost so the 2 options that we had were either construction, or which would be more permanent, or the modular units, which are sort of more temporary. The estimated cost for the construction is around $5,700,000, and the estimated cost for the modular units is about $1 million. To make up the money for the construction in 10 years, the tuition fee would be around $6,500, and it would be around $4,700 for the modular units. However, even though the tuition would have to be higher for the construction, we thought that it was a better option because, as mentioned earlier, the parents are willing to pay for the tuition, and it's also optional and for other factors that. Are there any questions?
You don't mind. So, do you by any chance know the entire cost of holding this program specifically, or?
I don't know if I can find that information right now.
That's okay. And so, for this entire cost, what I assume is you are going to, the program will involve the district's money, and the program will repay us through the fees coming from the parents, right? Or,
Yes.
Okay. And how did you end up getting $6,500 from the total cost of everything?
I don't know exactly. I think Neela explained it earlier. Did you?
Oh,
Yeah.
was that so?
Would you like to?
We got 6,500 because we had contractors come in and assess how much money it would be to
Oh,
construct
okay.
money. And we took that amount of money and we divided it up among the surveyed parents that would have put their kids into enrichment, and that came up with a estimated amount of what the tuition cost would be.
But you don't know like the factors at the top of your head, like of.
I do not know the
Okay,
exact money,
understood.
but
That's okay.
that's the process in which we
Okay.
did to get to it, yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that.
Are there any other questions? Yes, Trustee Salvi.
How many schools will you be implementing kindergarten enrichment in?
I think we're just doing 2 for now.
Okay. And it was one teacher enrolled per school? Or,
The teachers?
yeah, one kindergarten teacher enrolled per school. Okay.
I don't know that.
I think, yeah. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So I actually have a question based off of that. Wait, I don't think it would be for you though. So you say that there's only one teacher for school. Wouldn't that only be around like 40 kids that would be able to take like the kindergarten enrichment, because it would be like the AM and PM?
I don't know. This is not really my.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. So are there any other questions? No? Okay, now let's move on to the presentation from the Director of Media and Services.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Benjamin Shoemaker, and I'm here to present to you my plan for improved school security on the basis of our kindergarten enrichment expansion. We all currently have access to an app which allows us to view live camera feed from all District 39 schools. And I want to expand upon this operation as I believe it is the future of safety in our schools. The first step is to implement more cameras to accommodate the younger student population we will be handling. Then we can focus on my app proposal to extend the reaches of our supervision app to the parents. Obviously, the current cameras we have lack the technology to properly supervise kindergartners, so I suggest that we implement new ones, such as the ones I'm about to show you. Next slide, please. Any questions so far?
Yes, Trustee Salvi.
Supposing one teacher and you're enrolling kindergarten enrichment in 2 schools, that's about 40 new students from the kindergarten enrichment program. How many cameras do you think you will need to supervise all of them?
I would say at a minimum 40 to 60.
I see.
Trustee Brown.
How much would each camera cost?
It says up there about $700 estimated.
Is this included in the budget of the $5 million?
No, obviously this would probably stretch some of the bounds of our budget, but I believe that our board would be absolutely willing to do it since its main priority is obviously student safety.
Okay. Trustee Larson.
How would we get that money?
Well, there are numerous ways we could get that money. I mean, that's what the board is supposed to decide.
Trustee Carberry.
Would this cost be included in the $6,000?
Yes, this could possibly raise the tuition.
Are there any questions for now? No. So then continue on with your presentation.
Thank you. Now, these cameras are top of the line, as you see. They will have live feed capabilities, 1080p quality, and they have rotatable lenses, so we can see a full 180 degrees. These cameras specifically are used in some of the most dangerous cities in America, so they will be perfectly suited for our kindergarten classrooms. Any questions?
Trustee Shedevy.
Is it necessary that we have this type of camera?
Well, I believe that if we want to ensure that our students are safe at all times, that we need the best in security.
So could we maybe purchase a cheaper type of camera that would still ensure the safety of our students?
Well, I've done thorough research, and I could not find another camera of which would provide the services of which we require.
Trustee Vondensteinen?
Do parents actually think this is a necessity?
Well, we haven't done a poll on the parents, but I believe that if you ask parents if they want their children to be safe, I think they would say yes.
Trustee Axel?
Okay, so you said they were used in like dangerous situations in the city. Well, I feel like a kindergarten classroom isn't going to be as dangerous, kind of. So.
Well, I mean, we obviously have to be prepared for anything. I mean, as previous people have said, there would only be one teacher in the classroom, which might not be quite enough to supervise all who knows how many kindergarten kids just running around. So I believe that this is entirely necessary.
Trustee Ramaswamy?
Vice President. So, just going back to Trustee Shedevi, I do believe that the camera itself, the cost is $700. There's also the maintenance aspect of it as well. So, how do you plan on handling that? Because no matter how much damage it does cause, because this is going to be with kindergartners, so they're not going to develop that level of maturity to respect, oh, there's a camera over there. So, how is that going to be handled?
Well, obviously, we would have them in high up places where hopefully they couldn't reach, but if one of them was to be damaged, we would try to quickly replace it to ensure that the security is top of the line at all times.
Trustee Salvi?
You mentioned raising the intuition for the kindergarten enrichment enrollment fee. What would you plan on raising it to? Because currently there's 40 students enrolled for each teacher, around 20 average class. That's about $260,000 in total. What would you raise their enrollment fee to accommodate your new camera system?
Well, I haven't crunched the hard numbers yet, but I would estimate a couple $100 raising would be necessary.
Okay.
Trustee Bjorkman?
Do you think it's like a necessity to get 40 to 60 cameras, or could we get less?
Well, I have a question for you then. Is it a necessity to keep our children safe?
Yes, of course, but do we need 40 to 60 cameras?
I'm sorry, we shouldn't be laughing about security. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to pause the questions for now so we can move on. Next slide, please. So, now all these top of the line applications will allow for a new app that I would like to release called Kindergarten Insight and Oversight. It would allow for parents to view the live feed that these cameras would produce so that they could constantly monitor their children while they're away. Because as we said, there's only one teacher, and I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not very confident when there's only one teacher in the room. So this would help put down some of the fears of parents. And it would also include a live in-time communication system so that parents could text or notify their teachers if they have any concerns of the condition of the classroom. Any questions?
Trustee Shedevi?
So, what if a parent is not very comfortable with other parents being able to see what their kid is doing during school? And what happens if a teacher is constantly being notified? Would that stop her from fully being able to teach?
Well, I'll answer those one at a time. So for the first one, I believe that sometimes privacy must be sacrificed for security. And, in this day and age, we have to sacrifice a lot of privacy to get minimal security. For the second one, now, obviously, if a teacher is getting so many notifications that she cannot work, that probably means she shouldn't be working. So, anything else?
Trustee Larson? Wouldn't it be like more like productive to get to like hire more teachers rather than like 40 security cameras?
Well, some may believe that, but I believe that technology is far superior to human abilities in every way. Anything else?
Trustee Vondensteinen.
So returning to Trustee Bjorkman's question, especially if these cameras like are able to rotate and like see everything, don't we only need one camera in each classroom, not 40 to 60?
Well, this is the reason I suggested such a high number was for, in case scenarios. So, per se, as you saw, could you please go back a slide so we can see the cameras again? So as you can see, the cameras do have their own natural protection with the obvious spikes on the top. But I fear that if a kindergartner were to perhaps take down the camera, our security might be compromised. Anything else?
Vice President Ramaswamy.
Okay, so to switch gears a little bit, it's not about quantity as much, it's also about quality as well. They're both equivalent, and I appreciate your idea of technology. I think it's very superior and it's very creative. However, along with the amount of cameras, you have to ensure security. And do you know at the top of your head how much that will cost? Because it's about maintenance and how to keep it very enclosed, because parents don't want other strangers to be able to view what their child is doing.
So as it says, $700 per camera. So these are clearly high quality. I assure you that we are not sacrificing quality. Now, off the top of your head, you can say $700 per camera, 40 cameras at minimum, around $28,000 minimum per classroom. So that's what I can give you right now. In the future, I might be able to give you something more up to standard.
Trustee Axel.
I feel like that might go like way over budget if we, it's a 28,000 per classroom. So I think a good idea would be like having cheaper cameras maybe, not without spikes on them.
Well, as your vice president pointed out, we do not want to sacrifice quality. So clearly it is necessary to keep these cameras at the price that they are.
I understand that we have a lot of questions, but we have to get on with the presentations. So can these questions wait? Yes, okay. So thank you for your proposal. Can we listen to the next presentation? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Erin Lee, Ramona School Principal, and the principals of the elementary schools know that kindergarten enrichment is supported by the community because of a survey that was sent out. The kindergarten enrichment itself would be a paid program where the approximated cost per student for a 5-day per week, 176 school day program would be around $65,000. At earliest, we are planning for the enrichment to be in action by the 2020-2021 school year. The survey results came in with around 650 replies, where 71.6% of surveyors had a child of 3 or under. 72.8% had an enrolled kindergartner, and 78% had an enrolled first grader. Within these surveyors, around 70% of these surveyors had a child that is participating or has participated in a kindergarten enrichment program that is outside of the district, and 68% and 68.8% said that they would like for their child to participate in the district kindergarten enrichment. And because Ramona is actually not one of the schools in which the kindergarten enrichment will be put in right away, we are expecting to see results from Harper and Central schools, where it will be implemented first, and then see how it goes. Questions?
Trustee Rushi?
I like the idea, like with your surveys, but don't you think surveying like first graders, like they've already been enrolled in the kindergarten enrichment program, wouldn't we just want to make it specific for those who are about to be enrolled?
I think that it was a very important decision for us to have interviewed people that had first graders because they would have already gone through kindergarten and would know whether it was a good idea for them to have had kindergarten enrichment or whether they might have wanted kindergarten enrichment had they not had the chance.
Vice President Ramaswamy?
I appreciate the time you took for your survey.
Yeah,
and
actually, there's another elementary school teacher afterwards.
Of course, yes, I can wait.
Yeah. But you can still ask a question.
Sorry, I was wondering. Okay, so for your, especially since you're an elementary school teacher, do you have specific data to ensure whether students that have you viewed other districts perhaps to see if those who have the enrichment program have succeeded well enough, and do you have data to support such?
Since we don't actually have, since our curriculum for the enrichment programs will probably be a little different from other schools. We can't necessarily compare our enrichment program to other enrichment programs, but we're sure that even if the enrichment program were not to be as up to standard as we expected, we'll still have kindergartners that are fully capable because of their actual kindergarten classes.
Do we have any other questions? No? Okay, thank you for your presentation. We will now move on to the Harper Elementary School principal.
Okay, so I am Sam, and I am the Harper Elementary School principal. So my school would be one of two schools that would initially host the enrichment along with Central, and they're planning to add on to our buildings and add a classroom so that we can house these students. So the construction would probably take about a year, so we would have it in action in 2020 and 2021. And so, but after that, if the program works out, then we'll probably add on to Ramona and Mackenzie so that the program will be held there too, which will double the size of students we will be. And also, eventually construction, the tuition will lower a lot because we won't have to pay for construction anymore, so it'll become more accessible to more people. So I think it's a great idea for a program to have in our schools. Questions?
Trustee Shedevy?
So what about the two other kindergarten classes? Will they be able to have another program similar to this, even though they don't have, an extra space being built onto it?
Well, there's already actually enrichment you can take through the Park District. So if the program works out, I don't know how long it will take for us to implement it into the other two schools, but it'll probably be 2 years. So it won't be a very long wait.
Are there any other questions? No? Okay, thank you for your presentation.
Yep.
We will now move on to the presentation by the administrator for students in special services.
Hello, I am Megan. And I'm Francesca Williams, and we are the administrators for students in special services. Good afternoon. Today, we will be covering the effects of kindergarten enrichment on special education. Hopefully, by proceeding with kindergarten enrichment, we will be one step closer to full-day kindergarten. Some effects of kindergarten enrichment are increase in kindergarten paraprofessionals and increase in kindergarten teachers. Remember that these teachers are necessary for kindergarten enrichment to be achieved.
For kindergarten enrichment to BHUs, we need to hire more paraprofessionals. With the idea of enrichment, we need to consider the needs of the kids with special educations. Hiring paraprofessionals will require more money taken out of the budget to pay them. However, having a paraprofessional and any other educational resources that students might require is a necessary for full-day enrichment.
Overall, thank you for taking time to listen to our presentation. We hope that you take these into account when planning kindergarten enrichment. Are there any questions?
Trustee Rishi?
Don't you think that it would be a little unfair for those with like disabilities and special needs when doing kindergarten enrichment, since that's more focused on relaxing and like hang out with your friends? Do you think they'd be like not included?
Well, the paraprofessionals are just there to help them if their help is needed. I don't think that will help make them feel excluded. It is only there if they need it.
Trustee Brown?
What would you estimate, like how many new paraprofessionals would we need to hire?
Well, you don't need one in every classroom. It really depends on how many students with IEPs and 504s and other educational needs are in the class, but I would say maybe 2 or 3 more.
Vice President Ramaswamy?
So in order for the enrichment to be successful, how many kids need to be inside the program itself?
Well, I think, again, it really just depends, but there are about 20 kids per, so I think 40 would make it a successful program.
Oh, okay. Are there any other questions? No? Okay. Thank you for your presentation. We will now move on to Are we done? Okay. Okay. So are there any questions or comments from the audience? No? Yes? Okay.
Hello, my name is CJ Feldman, a Wilmette resident with 2 children who will be entering kindergarten shortly. I believe that we should have the kindergarten enrichment program to accommodate to the needs of parents who cannot leave work to pick up their children from their school. I think it is a good opportunity for our village's youth. I just want to make sure that the preschools and places that are offering enrichment programs right now don't get left out of the equation and lose all of their business, resulting in them having to close. Thank you very much for listening. Have a nice day.
So is that up for discussion? So we will make note of that. Thank you for your comments and concerns. Are there any other? Okay.
Hi, my name is Gavin Rieger. I live in Wilmette and have 3 children, 1 entering kindergarten, the other 2 in 1st and 3rd grade. I support this program as I believe it is an enriched opportunity for the children. Many parents in Wilmette both work, making it a daily struggle to pick up kids and drop them off. I believe this takes the stress of the parents, making it much easier for them. Although this program may be expensive, I think it is a great program not for my kid, but for many others. Thank you.
Trustee Shedovy?
Do you know how much cheaper or how much more expensive how much more expensive a nanny versus this kindergarten enrichment would be?
I'm not sure of that.
Well, a nanny is always an option, but for one, nannies will not give children the social opportunities to grow and learn as the enrichment will. They will be allowed to be around other kids and to have fun games and arts and crafts and grow in a way that you can't when you just have a single person watching you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions, comments, concerns? No? Okay. So now we will move on to the action items. So, we will vote to approve plans for kindergarten enrichment. Do I have a motion to approve these plans?
I move to approve these plans for kindergarten enrichment.
I second that motion.
Thank you. So, now on to conference items. Is there any old business that needs to be discussed? Oh, yes. Yes. That's okay. Yeah. So, let's do that again. Do I have a motion to have a vote on the kindergarten enrichment?
I move to vote for the kindergarten enrichment plans.
I second that.
Okay. So all those in favor of the kindergarten enrichment say aye. Yay.
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 Yay. Okay. All those opposing say nay. Okay, so I guess that we have approved the plans for the kindergarten enrichment. So now on to conference items. Is there any old business that needs to be discussed? No. Is there any new business that needs to be discussed? No? Okay. Is there anything, so on to good and welfare, is there anything good that you've noticed and you would like to make note of and compliment? Yes.
I thought personally that the presentation was very well described. I appreciate the education in every single comment that was provided. I think that also seriously helped to enforce the main idea that kindergarten enrichment is a fantastic idea. So I appreciate the time that you've taken to do so. Thank you.
Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion to adjourn this meeting.
I second that.
Okay, so I hereby adjourn this regular meeting of the Board of Education for the Wilmette Public School District 39 for Wednesday, February 20th, 2019.